So today I'm putting 3 different cuts of meat to the test in the quest for the ultimate burger. We have brisket, short rib and chuck. I'm going to experiment with these 3 different types, and I'm also going to experiment with the fat ratios and see what's the perfect way to cook this burger. I'm going to get the barbecue going and I'm going to try cooking the burgers inside on a stove, simply in a pan. Let's get into it. Let's start out with the different cuts of meat then. These will be minced down and I'll be adding my fat content to them. Short rib with its higher fat content delivers a real deep beefy flavour, and that is a great option for a burger. Next we have the chuck. Maybe not as quite as much flavour as the short rib, but it will deliver more in the tenderness levels. Lastly, brisket, a cut derived from the breast of a cow, a really versatile cut that gives an intense beefy, savoury flavour that's going to provide stiff competition for the other 2. Lastly, I've got the fat, which will be minced down as well and added in. So that's the meat side. I'm now unpacking my mincer, which is going to help me transform these cuts into a wonderful mince. With a contraption like this, you'll get a small, medium and large cutter, so you can choose the thickness of mince you'd like. I go for the medium cutter. After a few minutes, I get to grips with the setup of it and I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to make these burgers with a few different cuts. I'm also going to play around with the different percentages in fat. I'll be using 10, 20 and 30% fat ratios. I'll simply use a bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. I'll mix this thoroughly and shape these up into 100-gram patties. Really importantly now, I'm going to stick these in the fridge so they can be brought back down to a cooler temperature. I'm still learning with cooking on charcoal, so please don't judge me on that, but most importantly, I get a really good bit of colour on the outside, really trying not to overcook the burgers, and stick a bit of cheese on them towards the end and get that melted. I toast my buns as well, and I keep a mental note of which burger is which. Second round, and I'm in the kitchen with my griddle on a high heat and I'm ready to get these bad boys on. High heat's so important. You want to get that char and that smoky flavour. Exactly the same story. I put these on, allow to get plenty of colour, flip where I need to. This is where I found a griddle pan a little bit easier because I could smash them down more and get a bigger surface area for that caramelisation. Once cooked and the cheese is on, I put a bit of mayo on the bottom, ketchup on the top, tomatoes, a little bit of lettuce, and there you go. Okay, here we are, back at the taste test. I'm very excited because I haven't got 1, not 2, but I've got 6 different burgers to try, different meat ratios, different cuts of meat, etc. It's gonna be exciting. Let me dive in and I'll tell you how they all taste. Okay, first I'm gonna go for the 2 10% fat. So we've got the short rib. That brisket with 10% fat is distinctly different to the first, to the short rib. It's definitely drier. I guess it's a cut of meat and the short rib will have a little bit more fat to it. But that brisket at 10%, I mean it's a lovely burger, but it's not as delicious as a burger should be. Okay, I'm going to try the other brisket at 20% fat. Very nice burger, but the flavour of the brisket I think is good, but I actually prefer the short rib at 10%. So my prediction is when I taste a short rib at 30 or the other kind of 20% burger, I think I'm going to prefer that taste. Okay, I'm going to try the chuck at 20% fat. Okay, the chuck at 20%, yeah, I really like that one. Nice flavour. I'd say maybe not as a kind of stronger kind of concentration of that beefy flavour. Two left, the chuck at 30% and the short rib at 30. Let me try the chuck at 30, and then I can compare it to the 20% ratio. Certainly a really moist and succulent burger. Very, very good. My last one, the short rib at 30% fat. Delicious. That is a brilliant burger. The flavour profile you get from the short rib is extraordinary. It is so, so good. Nice and beefy, nice and concentrated. I think the other two are good. I'd say the chuck steak kind of sits in the middle for me, and the brisket, it's good, but the short rib is definitely the best. I think cooking it on the barbecue is good. Maybe cooking it in the pan slightly gets the edge because you get that caramelization, you get that crust. So really, that is more flavour. Very interesting experiment for me today to try these different types of cuts of meat. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.